Hey guys, how's everyone doing? This is Sir Jedi Sentinel, and welcome back to Sentinel Vlogs. It's been a while since I've done one of these. If you're new to my channel, let me give you some background, or if you've been with my channel for a while, let me give you some background, because I haven't done this in a while. When I first started my YouTube channel, I started it with the conceit of being a vlogger. I didn't want to call myself a YouTuber. I felt like, and still do kind of feel like, there was a professionalism to it, or, well, professionalism, because of the right-wing grifters, that I just felt I lacked. You know, you've seen me, I air my videos, mostly warts and all. The tangents, the long awkward pauses as I try to gather my thoughts. I feel like calling myself a vlogger, there is a casualness to what I do. You know, because I lack that professionalism, mainly because of my poor skills in editing, that lately I have tried to get better with. Not perfect, and I'm not going to commit to it, but just trying to get better with it. But I'm still going to call myself a vlogger. So when I started my channel, I started it with the intention of doing my reviews, like you've seen, and vlogs, just talking about topics that may take my fancy. And it very quickly dawned on me that I didn't have much I wanted to talk about, or there were things I didn't know how to talk about. You know, like if you've seen me in real life, I'm not a conversationalist. I'm a wallflower. I will give monosyllabic responses in conversations. That's just how I am. So yeah, I quickly dropped the vlog aspect of my channel. I did keep the vlog playlist up, and mainly I just stick videos where I don't know where else to put them there. But yeah, there is finally a topic I wanted to talk about. So today we're going to talk about spoilers. Now, if you've never been on the internet before, what is a spoiler? A spoiler is revealing something about a piece of media that, how's a good way to do it? That, let's just say an audience member, be it a watcher, a reader, a gamer, what have you, may not have had prior knowledge to. Usually this is twists or surprises, and, being spoiled derives from the fact that now this twist, this surprise is ruined. So I wanted to talk about this because it's kind of occurred to me in recent years. I don't care about spoilers. I don't mind being spoiled at all. Now, I'm not going to get on a soapbox and say, oh, spoilers are no big deal, because I get it. People want to be surprised. They want to be excited about going in blind. So, I'm not going to say there's nothing wrong with being spoiled. Like, it's a case-by-case basis. I'm sure there are plenty of people who don't mind being spoiled. I'm sure there are people who do mind being spoiled. But really, what brought this out? Well, I've been listening to the Council of Geeks podcast feed lately. And, well, Council of Geeks is one of my favorite YouTube channels, and what she's been doing recently is she and her friend and fellow YouTuber Jessie Gender have been showing each other their favorite sci-fi shows. So their sort of podcast series started with What the Frel, where Vera, Council of Geeks, showed Jessie Farscape. And then it shifted to Jumpgate, where Jessie showed Vera Babylon 5. And then it became We Are All Pawns. It's called if you look it up, it's just called the Council of Geeks podcast theme, but the title of it changes depending on the series they're doing. So anyway, and then it was We Are All Pawns, where Vera showed Jessie the prisoner. And now we are on Frack This, where Jessie is showing Vera Battlestar Galactica. I have never seen Battlestar Galactica before. I've heard of it, but I have never seen it. And I am, at time of recording, 20 episodes into this podcast, listening to them talk about it, listening to them recap the episodes, discuss their thoughts, and I even find myself listening through Spoiler Minutes, which is a segment Jessie does where she spoils later events in the series. And, all that this was doing was just making me go, I've got to watch this show. Which this is the point I will get into in a moment. But it's like, and it's like, I don't care that I'm being spoiled for the way the series is going. It's not bothering me. In fact, it's just wanting me to seek it out more. Also, I recommend the Fractus podcast or whatever iteration of the podcast Vera and Jesse are doing. Again, look up Council of Geeks podcast feed. Excuse me. You might even be able to find it under its specific series names. Again, What the Frel, Jumpgate, We Are All Pawns, or Fractus. But yeah, so it's like, going back to this is just what prompted me to want to talk about this topic. So getting back to that, just the wider scope of why don't spoilers bother me? Well, if I'm being honest, I don't know what the why is. I just know they've never bothered me. But it's like, I first noticed this many years ago, back in 2002, when I was, I think 7. Wait, 2002 or 2003? Yeah, the Oscar ceremony was 2003, so it was 2002. A family friend took me to the theater to see The Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King. Me and my family had been watching the movies as they came out, but I was the only one who got to see Return of the King in theaters. And it was awesome, and when I got home from the theater, I just wanted to talk about it. But every time I tried to, my family, my parents, my siblings, they all stopped me because they didn't want to know. They didn't want the movie spoiled for them. And I just wanted to talk about it. I just wanted to talk about it with someone. And that was the first inclination, in hindsight, that spoilers didn't bother me, because this is something I still try to do. I see a new piece of media that maybe one of my friends or family has an interest in, but haven't seen yet, whereas I have, and I just want to talk about it. But everyone else wants to be surprised, so they don't want to talk about it with me yet. And I don't know. I think I'm weird on this, because this is the point I was getting to with the Council of Geeks podcast theme, with feed. Why do I keep saying theme? But with the Council of Geeks podcast feed story, it's like hearing them talk about Battlestar Galactica, hearing them talk about what's going on in the episodes and the way the story is playing out. All it did was make me want to seek it out. All it did was make me want to watch it for myself. And so that's really there are 2 points I want to get to. I want to quote another YouTuber I heard talk about this before, and I want to get to another point about why spoilers don't bother me. I'm just trying to figure out which one I want to go to first. Well, since I'm already talking about this, I'll get on there, about Battlestar Galactica and everything. It's like, spoilers, more often than not, for me, are a selling point. Hearing, oh, this is what happens, this is what we're building up to, this is the ending, it'll be like, okay, I need to see that. So it's like, they sell, along with the premise of the series, or hearing people talk about their opinions on it, spoilers are a big selling point on why I want to seek out media. Telling me, oh, this is what we're building up to, or this is the way this plays out. It's like, I want to see that for myself. And another aspect, or another way this shows up, is webtoons. I read webtoons. They're basically webcomics. It's a little bit more specific than that, but I'm not going to get into that. And every time a new one comes out, I will check it out. And if I get hooked, I will subscribe to it and read the weekly updates or whatever the upload schedule is. But oftentimes the one I'm subscribed to, the one I'm enjoying, it'll reach a point where, I will want to know what happens next. So I will go online and look for forums where people are talking about spoilers. And it doesn't take me out of the story. It just makes me want to get to that point in the story. So spoilers, as I said already, are a selling point for me. They help sell me on a piece of media. Which kind of brings me to the other thing. The other thing I wanted to talk about, because I heard someone say this, and it just resonated with me so much that, like, when you look up a plot synopsis or hear someone talk about a story and you get to the spoilers, a story, be it a book, video game, movie, TV show, what have you, in this specific context, they were talking about a movie, but I'll just say a story is so much more than its plot. Like, the plot, which is usually what we talk about when we talk about spoilers, is only one aspect of it. There are so many more aspects surrounding the plot. Like, again, movie or TV show, there could be performances, books, there could be prose, the way it's written, so it's like plot is just or there could be other things like character motivation or character beats. With everything that happens in a narrative, the plot really is just one tiny aspect of it. So knowing the plot doesn't bother me because there are other things going in that can still surprise me. Like, maybe there's a compelling performance, or maybe it's written beautifully, or maybe the way you're playing the game changes the context of the story, or changes the story completely depending on the game. All of these things just add up. And, it doesn't detract from me because I'm still getting a whole experience out of it. So yeah, once again, just spoilers don't bother me. They have never bothered me. I understand they bother some people. That's why when I do my reviews, I open with, if you do not, there is a blanket spoiler warning in place, because I'm doing these unscripted and may decide to talk about spoilers. But you can talk about spoilers with me. It's not gonna detract from my experience. What are your thoughts on this topic? Please start a conversation in the comments below. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. Click the bell next to subscribe to get notifications when I upload. And in the description box below, you'll find the link to my Bluesky where you can follow me and get updates on the channel. This is Sir Jedi Sentinel, and I'll see you guys next time.